Prince William's latest public statements have sent shockwaves through royal watchers. In a rare and deeply revealing interview, he spoke about their shared past, the tension with his brother Prince Harry, and the future he hopes to build for his family. He didn't sugarcoat the pain, but he also refused to extend an open olive branch. This is a moment charged with emotion, strategy, and unspoken demands. From the very first seconds, William addresses the weight of legacy. His eldest son, Prince George, will one day bear the crown. I want to create a world in which my son is proud of what we do, a world and a job that actually does impact people's lives for the better. But he adds a caveat. That is caveated with, I hope we don't go back to some of the practices in the past that Harry and I had to grow up in, and I'll do everything I can to make sure we don't regress in that situation. In other words, lessons learned, warnings issued. He's acknowledging their painful past and staking a claim that his reign and his family's future must not repeat old mistakes. For context, this comes at a time when William has been largely reticent about his relationship with Harry. Since the Sussexes' departure from royal duties in 2020, the two brothers have seldom traded public words. Harry spilled his side of the story in interviews, documentaries, and especially in his memoir, Spare, which painted a picture of family betrayal, injustice, and unresolved grievances. William, by contrast, has tended to stay silent, until now. In this interview, filmed as part of The Reluctant Traveler with host Eugene Levy, he opens up about the emotional toll of 2024, and it's no understatement to say that he describes it as the hardest year of his life. He speaks of balancing public responsibilities with private trauma, Kate's cancer diagnosis, supporting King Charles amid health issues, protecting his children from scrutiny, and managing the relentless media pressure. Trying to protect the children, Catherine, my father needs a bit of protection. 2024 was the hardest year I've ever had. William also delves into his childhood, haunted by the endless glare of the press, the strain of expectations, the splintered family environment. He talks about how the intrusion into their lives destabilized relationships, how he and Harry were shaped and scarred by undercurrents of pain and rivalry. When he references practices in the past that Harry and I had to grow up in, the inference is clear. The old system failed them, and he wants to do better for himself, for his children, for the crown he will someday wear. He's explicit that change is on my agenda. Not a revolution, he insists, but meaningful evolution, recalibrating the monarchy so it remains relevant, compassionate, and effective in modern society. He speaks of protecting boundaries, not conceding to sensationalism. He says, I take a very strong line about where I think that line is, and those who overstep it, I'll fight against. It's about knowing what you're willing to put up with. One of the most striking omissions, William does not name Harry beyond that single caveated line. He doesn't issue apologies, he doesn't attempt reconciliation on camera, he does not commit to rebuilding bridges, though his words are laden with implication. It's as though he is signaling, but also testing. He hints at a younger brother wounded by the same system he now aims to reform, but whether Harry will receive that invitation or respond remains uncertain. Outside observers have pounced. Some critics call his tone cautious, diplomatic, artful hedging, prudent perhaps for a future king. Some royal analysts say the comment is a strategic olive branch without risk, a public overture with conditions. Others interpret it as an attempt to appear empathetic without submitting to vulnerability. Meanwhile, insiders say William remains deeply mistrustful, especially around conversations becoming public, given past betrayals. And what of Harry's side? He recently returned to the UK for a brief visit, during which he met King Charles after nearly 19 months without face-to-face contact. But William was not among the meetings. That absence speaks volumes. Sources suggest William declined to engage, citing distrust and a fear that confidential conversations would leak. For Harry, that must sting, an overture unreturned, at least for now. To see how entrenched the rift remains, consider earlier signs. During a 2025 visit to the Army Air Corps, William made a family remark. Some of them might not want to see you that much. A casual quip or a veiled dig. Observers saw it as a deliberately loaded comment about his fractured sibling relationship. That same year, William quietly assumed a military role previously associated with Harry, fueling speculation about how far William is willing to go to reclaim and redefine what Harry relinquished. There are voices from within the royal ecosystem too. Jason Kaunoff, who once worked for both William and Harry, called the schism sad and acknowledged the difficulty of watching it play out publicly. He encouraged respect for William's reluctance to speak. Others, royal biographers, photographers, pundits, push for eventual mediated reconciliation, blaming silence, hurt, and unrealized expectations for the brothers' drift. In parallel, Harry continues life across the Atlantic, building a public persona as a critic, philanthropist, and truth-teller. He remains vocal about his security, his sense of alienation from the royal institution, and his longing to restore connection, even if unilateral gestures go unanswered. Behind the headlines, he has reportedly attempted to reach out, but sources say those efforts have faltered amid broken trust and mixed signals. This moment, William's rare public comment, carries multiple layers. On one level, it's a soundbite, destined to headline tabloids. William mentions Harry. On another, it's a coded manifesto, boundary setting, father's ambition, emotional defense. On yet another, it's a trial in public. Will Harry reply? Will William's offer, implicit though it may be accepted or rejected? Trust, once broken, is not rebuilt by statements alone. If either brother wishes reconciliation, it will demand vulnerability, risk, and time. And yet, this moment already matters. It's the first time in years that William has let a peek into his emotional world, into the weight he carries, into what he wishes would change. It gives the public and Harry a window into how he sees the past and how he hopes to shape the future. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.